Hello, Fiona. How lovely of you to come and give us your time this evening. Come and talk to us at CLL Support. All the trustees are very, very grateful for anybody that comes, so especially you tonight. That's very kind of you. You're going to give us a little chat about your background, your CLL background, and then we'll move on to where you are at the moment. So talk us through, when were you diagnosed, Fiona?
Gail, I was diagnosed at Christmas in 2018. So that was my Christmas present. I was very tired and I had a tummy ache infection. It just wasn't going to go away. So she said, I think I'll check your blood. And it came back with my white count not being quite right. She wasn't too concerned, but as it was, she pursued it and I had to go and see the haematologist. And that was when I was diagnosed in 2018 in December the 21st, the lovely Christmas present. Never really dawned on me what exactly it was because I wasn't given a lot of information. I think things are better now, but I knew that I could pick up infection. So I then had to pursue through my school, going through occupational health, a risk assessment. And that was an interesting time to find out what I was entitled to and what I wasn't entitled to.
But did you do that there and then, as soon as you were diagnosed?
No, I did. What they first of all, they had a meeting with me and they'd never come across this before. And they were a bit nervous about it because I've been in my particular high school for 22 years. I'm a very healthy member of the school. I'm never off sick. So to see that they've got someone with cancer, that threw them, and I had to explain that I'm not on treatment, I'm on watch and wait, because they immediately thought it was treatment that I was going to start. So we had an initial meeting and then I decided that I wanted to go and see an occupational health therapist. I felt it was better to get some information, and she was very supportive and gave the school an outline as to what CLL was, the risks of infection and whether I could get tired or not. And with negotiation with the school, they were reasonable. What they did was, my job at the time was a learning mentor, so I was working with lots of children all over the school. It's a very, very large high school, so they decided they was going to put me in a room. So for the afternoon I was cooped up in this very tiny room with very little ventilation, seeing kids in there, and I was literally penned in that room, but it meant I wasn't moving around, so that was okay. Then COVID hit, and then it was a totally different ball game. I went into school, and then on the 16th of March 2020 I went into shielding, and with my risk assessment they said, well, if you're in shielding you've got to work from home. So I did work from home. I didn't get any extra equipment. I had to buy my own mobile because I didn't want to use my landline. And during that time of shielding, the first time I made over 1,000 wellbeing calls to my year group, because I'm now assistant head of year 10. It was year 9 as they were then. So I was making all these wellbeing calls, logging everything. I have to say it was a difficult time because I didn't get any support from the school, no wellbeing calls, nothing for my wellbeing. I was supporting so many other pupils. And that's when I decided to look around how I was going to support myself. For a time, I did have a buddy from Macmillan, and I really found that was very beneficial, very professional.
So we need to just explain that to some people who are listening. Leukemia Care will run a buddy scheme where you can go and volunteer to be a buddy, or you can find a buddy.
Yes, my oldest lady is 84, and I phone her every Saturday from October of last year.
What about us? Did you come to CLL Support then at the same time? Or
yes, I did. I also did all the forums as well and the webinars. I got very involved, and I found out that people were anxious like me, but some of them were having to work like me.
You joined Nora Grant's wonderful WhatsApp group, which I think...
Oh, that's brilliant. I mean, please join, because you get any information. They are a bed of information. There are teachers there that helped me with my second risk assessment because it had to be updated, and I've actually sent it out to support other people. So it's helped other schools to find out what is the best way to support people. So it's down to us, CLL, to make the effort ourselves. We have to be proactive, and I really would encourage anyone, to be proactive and get what you need and not be afraid to ask, because if you don't ask, you don't get.
And you're still on watch and wait. You haven't needed any treatment during COVID. Your bloods have stayed okay during COVID, and now you're...
Yeah, apparently my bloods are slowly decreasing up my white count, so I'm back now with a professor. Oh, I was back up with a haematologist originally. Now I'm with a professor. But he's quite pleased with me. He's not going to see me for another 9 months. It's very difficult having a consultation over the phone and not seeing a consultant. That is quite difficult.
Yes.
And that can be quite anxious. And some of my ladies I've supported been a little bit anxious. So I've always said, well, if there's any concerns you have, get in touch with your cancer team, because they are great. And I have a good supportive nurse at the QE who's very helpful as well. I used the nurse because I wasn't getting anywhere with my vaccines. I had a real battle with my vaccines.
Right.
And with my COVID vaccines. And again, I hadn't had my letter that I needed for my 3rd jab. And she sent me the letter, and again I've helped other people who also were struggling. If they hadn't had their letter, I sent my copy letter, and even gave them a number in the West Midlands area so that they could get their 3rd jab, because I think if information is shared, we can help each other, because we don't want to be part of this club. It's not something we signed up for, but we don't have a choice, so we might as well make it work for us and support each other the best way we can.
Absolutely, that's great advice, making it work, because as you say, without the I mean, I know hopefully some people will have reactions to the vaccine, some people won't have as much as they'd like, but actually you still need to take the vaccines, you still need to get them in the 4th. You had your 4th one as well.
I've had my 4th one. I had a terrible reaction to that one. And again, school were okay, because I had to say I've been ill and they couldn't quite get it, but I've never felt so poorly. And again, on the forum again, which was great to look, and the WhatsApp group again, some people have had a similar reaction, so I thought it was just me. I had Pfizer and I felt so sick I couldn't get out of bed for a whole week, and it wasn't like me.
Really? Gosh. And
Yeah.
Nora will be so pleased to hear this, because as you know, Nora works very hard on that WhatsApp group to make it work, and it's lovely to hear people saying how much they help each other and how much
it's glorious. I mean, I've been telling all the ladies to have a look at it.
Tell me how you think it's going to go forward for you now with all the changes coming about at the end of the month.
I've just got to be assertive and just say, if I'm tired, I need to take a break, or I need to have some time out. They're okay, but I think companies, there's a pressure we're all under, and you've just got to speak up. You shouldn't be ashamed of what you've got. It's not your fault, but you do have rights under Disability Discrimination Act. And ACAS, again, I've used ACAS, are very, very helpful.
And so you're just going to keep working, keep monitoring, keep pushing, keep living, really.
I tick a tick list, and I'm proud of how much I've achieved. I'm proud of how I'm coping. You know, the kids don't realise. They know I've got a strange mask on, and they kind of know, but they don't know. And if they knew, I think they'd be quite proud of me, really. You know,
it's lovely to feel that sense of pride at getting out.
Oh yeah,
it's a wonderful achievement to get out and do it, and to feel good, and to feel, you know, life is worth living. It's
we don't know how long we've got. I don't know how I'd feel if I did start treatment, but I might as well not, as my husband would say, why waste a good worry? Let's live life.
Do you feel it's less scary than it was, or do you feel just as anxious about it?
I think we're more informed. I think with all the information out there, we're more informed. Again, I did get my PCR test through, my priority test, but not the letter. So again, I went back to the forum to find out how to get a letter. I've even got the consultant now that if I did get COVID, I would know who to call, because obviously with the changes, I had to make a pre-plan, so I was aware of what I could do if it did happen. Because with lateral flow, I don't know if we're going to get free ones. Who knows? Nobody knows at the moment. Boris is making his decision. So I'm limiting my lateral flow. But if I'm feeling rough or anything, I will do it just to check out. But I mean, my school is in a very high risk area. We're getting kids all the time off with COVID, and staff. So you have to weigh up. I do also work with some staff that are not vaccinated, which is a bit of a challenge, but it's their informed choice.
Well, how do you deal with the issue of non-vaccinated colleagues?
They are aware, those that I feel need to know about how I am. They are aware that it can make me feel very anxious. I don't play on it too much. I have to respect their wishes, but at the back of my mind, I'm thinking if they were ill, they would want the drugs. And I think that's where I am at the moment. I can't dictate my preference to somebody else. That will be wrong, but I can weigh up my own risks, and I tend to perhaps not go straight into their classroom or hover or make sure my mask is particularly tight. But I wouldn't want to show them up and make them feel uncomfortable, because one of my best friends is not vaccinated and she's had COVID, so in her eyes she's had the antibodies. But I think there's a lot of silliness around it, and I think people need to look at the proper research. And we're just so fortunate that it has stopped the deaths, that it has stopped the infection. So it must be working, and it's worldwide. It's not just us, it's all over the world.
Truly inspiring story. It's been delightful to talk.
Well, thank you very much.
Very, very interesting. And I love to talk to people that give me tingly feelings and make me feel, you know, how much they're living their life. It's wonderful. And thank you for giving up your time. And very, very grateful. Thank you for all the CLL trustees. Lovely to talk.
Well, yes, I wouldn't be where I am without you guys. So I will continue to promote and support.
That's really nice. Lovely to talk to you. Thanks, Fiona.
Thank
Take
you.
Care.
Bye-bye.